Hi guys, so here we are, January, very cold in the Northern Hemisphere, as in we've had a snow and a frost and goodness knows what else already this year. So, how are we all doing? Did we survive that full moon? Last night was the first night I slept properly in quite a while, actually, to be fair. So it's very early in the morning, hence we have no light, because normally I use the ambient light from the room. So dawn is happening, it's just happening very, very slowly today. Let's just hope I have enough light to be able to see the guards by. Okay, so our first card is Sorrow. We've had her out a lot recently, haven't we, Sorrow? But I think it's changed now. I think it's a deeper thing. So it's gone from being like a surface thing. It's gone from being low-key and public displays to being deep and internalised, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Obviously, we're going to have to deal with this at some point. We are going to have to deal with this emotion. It's going to have to come out. So be aware that there is something that has been internalised here and that we need to deal with it before we can move on from it. So our second card, again, falseness. She's come out a lot recently, hasn't she? And I think this, with the sorrow card, I think these two paired up are saying that we're not being true to ourselves, that we're not allowing the true version of ourselves to shine through. Perhaps that's what we're sorrowful about, or perhaps it's the fact that we're not acknowledging what caused the sorrow in the first place. Perhaps that's what it is. Perhaps it is something like we aren't being true to actually what is going on inside us. Excuse me, I haven't had my coffee yet, so I'm still a little bit on the dry throat side. That's better. There we go. Sorry for gulping down the camera, actually. Self-worth is coming up again, and it's something that we have to do. And what was the quote I saw today? Something like, if self-worth is invaluable, for without it life is miserable, or something along those lines. Somebody please pop the quote and the source in the comments, because I honestly can't remember and I will have to go and research, but I'm pretty sure that was what I read earlier on. And yes, I have been awake for hours. So, our final card. Is that consistency? So, how steadfast are we? How constant are we in our approach? I think this is actually a warning about us internalising stuff and being our own worst enemy. For it is a vitally different card. Looking at the picture here, it stands out, it's vibrant. These two are very muted and underhand in comparison. So this one is saying, actually, do you know what? Sometimes it's not necessarily good to keep doing the same things that we've been doing. This is where you get the falseness, the deceit into it, because we're deceiving ourselves. And it's all very well saying, oh yes, I'm I'm big and I'm brave and I'm so fast and constant and all that, when this is happening inside. So you are living the lie, you are living the falseness. And it's, you're not being true to yourself. You aren't, so with you not being true to yourself, you're not living your true self. You're not living your vitality. Your vitality is leaking, essentially. A lot of red in this card. So to me, that's a root chakra thing, which actually could be you are having an energy leak of some form. And if this is the case, if you are sorrowful and hiding it through a pretense of, I'm good, I'm bold and brash and loud, and in actual fact, inside you are her rather than her. This is where the falseness comes into it. Your bravado is actually doing you no favours at all. And I know people say, fake it till they make it and that sort of thing. But actually, I think in this case, you need to be aware that what you're doing really is not doing you any favours at all. In actual fact, it's making you worse. The fact that we keep getting these two cards, not necessarily in conjunction with each other, but we do keep getting these two cards. She's new. She's a new card, so this is a new level of awareness that is coming out at the moment. And do you believe that this could be you? Do you believe that you are putting on a bravado, but in actual fact inside you are just an emotional wreck? So we need to deal with the root of that before we can deal with her, because that is a different thing altogether. This is something new. This is something else that's come in. This is what needs to be dealt with, your sorrow. And it's, it is totally legitimate. Every single thought and feeling that we have is totally valid. But to what extent? Okay, and there are no good emotions and bad emotions. There are just emotions. They just are. They just happen. They are a state of being, just as you are. So we need to find the root cause. Okay, so it may be that a recent event has effectively given you a downturn in your mood, shall we say. But it goes back further than that. So this is you're lying to yourself if you think that was the keystone, that was the event. It actually wasn't. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was a whole confluence of events that have led to this. So we need to start going back and back and back. And every time this has happened to you, every time you felt like this or a variant of this, because we all know emotions have layers, right? They are onions. So we need to get back to the core. We need to get back to that little nugget. I always describe emotions as being like candy floss. So the more you think about it, the more candy floss happens, and you've got to get down to the stick in the middle that the candy floss is actually on to discover what is the root cause of this. And then, actually, do you know what? I think this is going to end up reversing when you do that. This is going to end up reversing, and she will be the foremost card. She will be the one who says, do you know what? I've been through that, and I've bloody survived, and I am bloody proud of myself, and too right you should be too. So, it's going to take a bit of work, but the moon is in the right phase at the moment. We are waning, so we can get rid of stuff that no longer serves us. We can start banishing this. It can start reducing. So literally between now and the new moon, so you've got less than 2 weeks now to get to the nugget, the core, the stick of your sorrow. And it's not necessarily just one event. It is tracing it back through everything that has made you feel this way. Key element of shadow work, essentially, in order to get her to turn upside down and her to be the reality. So you will actually not be presenting a face, you will be steadfast. Okay, guys, that's all I'm getting for now. So Happy New Year to anyone I haven't wished it to, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.